So what are my favorite reasons for doing private lending? I think it can generate higher returns with less risk than other asset classes. Certainly, like my average return is 10 to 18% annualized on private lending, whereas, my stocks, I don't know what the return is going to be. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes they go down. Sometimes I have a better year, but it's usually not consistently 10, 12, 15%. There's a lot of opportunity as a lender because there are a lot of investors out there looking for dollars to fund their deals. And so, in fact, that favorable investor to lender ratio, I like, where there are fewer lenders than there are investors. So you can usually find a deal, somebody who needs money to finish their deal. And if you know what you're doing and you pay attention and you vet the situation right and you have the right paperwork and you do things right, then your win-loss ratio can be unmatched, meaning that, well, let's put it this way. I've been doing private lending since 2004. I've never lost a dime. I've never had to take property back. I've come close a couple of times, but what saved me in the end was my paperwork was rock solid. I knew the deal, I knew the numbers, I knew what was going on. So that win-loss ratio is great if you do things right. And lending services the number one need in real estate. What do people need if they're going to do a deal? They need money. They need funding to buy the property, to fix up the property. So that's what we provide, and that's why it's a number one service. And this bottom line, she who has the gold makes the rules. That's kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke, but I think as the lender, you do want to make sure that the terms are favorable to you, but it's not, I like a win-win situation. So I'm not going to do a deal unless the terms are favorable for the borrower as well. We want everybody to make money in this deal. And if both borrower and the lender cannot make money, nor the lender should do that deal if both sides can't make money. And so I always let my borrowers tell me the terms they would like to have. And if that works for me, which it usually does, then I'll just agree to them. I don't have set parameters because I want to make sure that every deal works for the borrower as well as for myself. So they've run their numbers. They know what they can afford. I ask them for the proposed terms, and then I decide if I can live with those terms or not. If I feel like I need something different, I'll go back to the borrower and say, hey, I'm not quite getting the yield that I'm hoping for. Do you have it in your budget to pay me another point or go up 1% in the interest or whatever it is? And the answer will either be yes or no, right? So we want a win-win. Continuing with why I like this, this is not a job. You have some things that you have to do to protect yourself. But once you've done those initial steps, it's usually kind of a set it and forget it thing. You're just making sure your monthly interest check is coming in, checking on the progress of the property now and then. But otherwise, it's fairly passive. And that makes it a great investment for your self-directed IRA, where you really can't be involved in the transaction beyond directing the purchase of the asset, which in this case would be a promissory note. It's also a good business for repeat and referral. So you start working with a good flipper and they do multiple properties a year. If you have a good relationship and you guys work well together, you've got a built-in, not partner, that's not the right word legally, but you've got a built-in borrower, they've got a built-in lender. You can just keep sourcing funding their deals as they source them. And it's a good repeat and referral business. You also can leverage other people's money, other people's time, and other people's effort. So I like that about it too. And you'll see some examples in a little while about how you can, if you have small dollars, you don't have enough to lend yourself, how you can either wrap other people's money or co-lend with them and still make a really good return on your money. I like lending because you've got this monthly check coming in. So if I had 5 loans out there, I've got 5 interest checks coming in every month, and it's sustainable, it's leverageable, and it's recurring. So I personally think private lending is great.